Okay, it's Saturday night, the 23rd, the day before Christmas Eve. It's a warm, rainy night here in central Texas. The rain came at 3 like they promised, but that was only about a quarter inch. Then there was about an hour and a half break. Then it started up again. I want to take this time, since I've got a good dry space to film from, and look at how all that mall is lighting up the sky over there. They don't have the lights on at the Texas tornado. I want to tell you a story about how stupid it is to trust people, especially if they use meth, amphetamine. I'd known for about a year a guy named Rudy Escobar, but if you know Spanish names, he actually has multiple surnames. On Facebook, he was going as Rudy Escobar. His sister uses a different name. And he thinks he's Jeremiah, the mighty prophet, going around with his axe wanting to kill all the homosexuals and stuff like that, and preaching, when actually he's just been doing meth and drinking. And, you know, anyway, the point is that I know it was him on about May 27th, because I had been finally got booted out of that fucking West Oaks rehab and skilled nursing facility, which was full of a bunch of misandrist, man-hating, sadomasochistic lesbians and a couple of gay guys that didn't like a man like me who's not going to lay down, and I'm not a vagina. Man, he stole the whole backpack because he was afraid I was going to wake up and, stab his ass. I was taking a little nap on the bus stop bench because I knew right before people get off, there's shade for the first time all day, yada yada. And he actually bought a special, it's exactly like a big ass razor blade, shaving razor, and he cut through the straps and stole my backpack. He didn't give a shit about me, but he pretended to. Oh yeah. And then, so anyway, I'm sitting there under a tree in front of Capitol Berry, who were always very nice to me, and I'm going to keep going here because in just a minute, a little voice in my new headphones are going to tell me power off, and power's not off. And you could tell this guy hadn't had any meth in quite a while. He was straight and wasn't jittery or anything. He was just down and out and broke, and I guess he really didn't, right up the road is a day labor place. But I'll get to the point, because so much of the crowd that attacked me because I was straight and white tried to kill me because I'm straight and white, and they claim to be kings and queens, and I'm one of the melanin impaired people that we don't know nothing. They invented everything. That's what this story is about. He wanted to sit down and rest in the shade. And I said, well, you see somebody dump that grocery cart over there, pull it over here, flip it on its side, and it might make your butt look like a Belgian waffle. But, at least you'll have a place to sit down and you can work on the padding or something as you go. And he wasn't really asking for nothing. I think that's why I eventually gave him a cigarette. But first he was going like, man, he was saying, man, I wish I could brush my teeth. And I said, I wish I could too. And I'm actually about to brush my teeth, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to make an African toothbrush and show you how people have been brushing their teeth since day one. And I picked up a little piece of dried live oak twig that was, say, no more than about 5 millimeters wide or so, somewhere in that range. Snapped it right past the joint, skinned back to the bark, and began chewing on it so it would split and split and split, creating a sort of a fibrous brush. And showed him how to go around up and down on every tooth, and showed him how to make one. Me showing an African American how to make an African toothbrush was most amusing and stuff. And I told him, you never really need to go around with that shit on your teeth. And so actually some guy came up during that process, and the black dude said, yeah, works, you know. Yeah, I remember who it was. It was the guy who was bumming a cigar. I gave him a cigar right after he got out of like the coronary unit. You know, he had a triple bypass or something. He immediately got ill, but he was beginning to offer toothbrushes that I don't think were entirely fresh. And we both just told him, no, we just got through brushing our teeth. We're fine. And it gave me great pleasure because, you know, I learned all about, you know, African toothbrushes a lifetime ago. You know, simply find the right piece of wood. Don't want a green one. You want one dry. Peel off that little bitter bark, because that can contain some nasty toxins. And just get it between your molars or whatever teeth you got, and gently chew on it, crack it, kind of grind it into a brush, and then just go all day to work them. You know, it might take you 5 or 10 minutes, but when you're through and you salivate a lot, you know, your saliva's got an antibiotic in it, and you can even scrub your tongue with it, get the crap off your tongue. And so a young black man who was surrounded by black people who strictly make their living off of slinging fat sacks and pimping their women and stuff and preaching black supremacy, found out that an old white man knew how to brush his teeth anywhere he goes, because he learned a long time ago what an African toothbrush is, because they still use them in Africa to this day. So that's my little story. 7 minutes and I'm out. African toothbrush.